Okay, now I'm going to share my screen. Maybe. Okay, so hopefully everybody can see the agenda. And we're going to start it like we always started. Any updates, Ian, that you would like to share with us?
Sure. Hey, everyone. And I guess first off, I think I live on like the loudest street in Charlottesville. So if you hear a big truck and you can't hear me, I can repeat something. But yeah, so the RHP, we have an in-person meeting next week at UVA's North Fork Meeting Center. There is an option for virtual, but it looks like most people will be attending in person because lunch is provided. Very exciting. Maybe that's not why they're attending in person, but we're going to be going through a strategic planning workshop with the full partnership with our consultants at SparkMill. We've done a few sessions with the executive committee, who's kind of serving as the steering committee for the strategic planning process, but this will incorporate all of the rest of the members of the partnership. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Should be very exciting, and it's my first meeting staffing the RHP that'll be in person, which is like kind of crazy considering I feel like I've staffed a lot of meetings thus far. As for the development grant, we are moving we're really close to being able to announce formally our development partners. I'm working right now on a memo and a presentation to give to the TJPD Commission in early April to have them give us the ability to disperse these funds. But it'll be $1.8 million that we're going to give out, and more to come on that. Very excited about hopefully making that official in the next few weeks. And for VERP, I see Kristen's on the call, but and her and Dave Norris over at PHA are really the ones doing, I'm not doing any of the work for VERP. So she might be able to give you a better update. But when I last talked to Dave, he said that they're moving closer and closer to hiring for the 2 positions that the VERP grant is funding, which is the eviction reduction or eviction prevention case manager and a landlord outreach position, as well as some money to go to direct financial assistance. So on our side, we have a meeting scheduled for the last week of March, which is our advisory committee. So all of the local stakeholders involved in eviction, or one sec, a loud car is coming. I'll just wait. All the stakeholders involved, or a lot of stakeholders involved in eviction prevention here in the region, get together. And I think what this will look like in kind of contrast to what the planning grant looked like is we'll be working through some of the outreach activities and strategies that we can leverage, partner support for. But that's, yeah, pretty much my update. A lot of stuff happening hopefully in the next few weeks with housing. So if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
No questions? Thank you, Ian. So I can go ahead.
Sorry, Ian, I didn't miss anything. I'm not supposed to be at that RHP meeting, am I?
Let me go inside real quick because a really loud truck just came. So I'm sorry.
That's okay. The background noise isn't bad on, you probably can't hear us, but we can't hear the background noise. Did I miss anything? Was I supposed to be at that RHP meeting or anything?
Only if Margaret can't come, but I believe
Okay.
Margaret is coming.
Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't overlook something I was supposed to be at.
Having said that, maybe Kim, it's time you take your turn. I just ordered lunch though, because he reminded me, but so I don't know.
And you're
I mean,
welcome.
I've just been doing this forever, and maybe, there's a better choice of rural representative than me. I hate
Well,
to.
I don't think that's the case, but what day is it? Oh, stop it.
And yeah, I'll send you the calendar invitation. So yeah, you're obviously welcome to come. I think that if Margaret's there, she'd be doing any of the like voting.
Right.
On like,
yeah.
But it's next Wednesday at 12 at North Fork, UVA's like research park. But I'll go ahead and send you the calendar invite right now.
Okay. But yeah, Margaret, if you're planning on going, there's no reason for both of us to go, but you tell me what's going to work for you. I just wanted to make sure I had that open if I needed to go.
Well, I have to be in town anyway because I have another board meeting earlier in the day.
Okay.
So I'm going from board meeting to board meeting. But so that was my plan, was to just go. But really, I mean, I think we should have that conversation about, like maybe alternating years or 2 years or something like that. I think some of the, what's going to come up with this conversation with strategic planning is who's on the board, who's on the executive committee, we have the right people. So I think it's a great time to have your input on all of that too. So
Okay.
I mean, while I'm very happy to assume that I am the spokesperson for everybody in the country, maybe it's not the everybody else's happy point, so
I'm happy for you to go to the meetings. I'm like getting my feet wet with the housing, with the regional housing plan and commission. Yeah, with me coming on board during the whole pandemic, I feel like I was slow to get up and running with that. But I
Yeah.
want to make sure if I need to be doing something that I'm pulling my weight.
Yeah. And I think you can replace me and then you can pull my weight too. So that's good.
I
That
don't
would
think
work.
so.
That works for me.
But I do have a new person starting next week. So next
Oh,
week is
congratulations.
yay, yeah. So it's not ideal, but I can make it work if I need to.
Okay. You don't need to. I can
Okay.
take it.
Perfect.
But next time.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so Alex, you came off mute. No.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Okay. You guys want to know what's going on with the city?
Not just yet. I thought you came off mute because you had a question for Ian. Sorry.
No. All right.
We're getting there. We're getting
All right.
there, I promise. So I'm just gonna go and give some quick updates on programs, the federal programs. Home, we're in the middle of the annual action plan. Everybody has handed in what I needed them to. We're gonna work on Kim's today. Kim has some questions. I have some questions for you, Margaret, for what you sent me.
Okay.
We are gonna get the draft, should be available right on time. I'm going to spend the rest of this week getting it formatted and sending it to Erin so Erin can look it over. So by the time we need to push it out for the draft, we'll have that draft up and running. Does not mean we might not still come back to you all with questions, but so that's still, the timeline is still going forward. HPG, I'm going to talk about that a little later, so I'm just going to skip it for now. Home art, Kim had a question about home art earlier, about what is that timeline. To quickly go over that, we were going to get a consultant, and I still think we are. I'm pretty sure we are. Get a consultant to do the gap in analysis, because we can also use that for our consolidated plan, which I'll talk about a little later, which Erin reminded me about earlier today. Christine's plan, I didn't have a chance to talk to her before this meeting, but the plan is to have that done by October. So that, we're gonna put together a timeline. Actually, that is on my list of things to do, is to put together the timeline of the whole RFP process, get it approved, and I will share that with everybody once I do that. And I hate putting deadlines on myself because I seem to miss them, but I want to have that done by next week. So by next week, I will have that, especially for all of the localities involved, and all of you guys on the call, Charlottesville, Savannah, Louisa, Green, the whole thing, to share that with you all with more details. Ian did a great draft of our RFP, and thank you. So, what else? I talked about the action plan. We're going to go over action plan questions. I have some, you all have some. AHIP's not on the call, but AHIP, that's who, they're the lucky monitoring candidate this year. I will be reaching out to them to set that up before the 30th of June. HPG funds. Just want to keep you guys abreast of what's going on with HPG funds for our subrecipients who use those. I have not put in your new request in yet, so it has gone down a little. Thank you, Kim. But we're still working on HPG 2020 funds, which is still part of that 2 year, we have 2 years to use those funds. But we have not touched 2021's funds, which need to be used by September 3rd. I can't start working on those funds until we actually have spent down all of 2020's funds. So we have about, give or take, I didn't look at how much you were asking for, Kim. I'm gonna say around $43,000, maybe $42,000 of 2020 funds we need to spend down. Then we can start working on that 133,000 for
So
2021.
really, sorry, Therese,
Sure.
it's all been committed, right? We just haven't spent
It's been
down 2020.
committed,
Okay,
right? 2020, it's all committed, but in case you guys don't know how it works, with home funds, you actually have a year that you can say, I'm using these funds from this particular year. With HPG funds, it's just a big glob of money. And there's no way to say, I want to start using 2021 funds. It's just as it comes in, I move things up. I switch around things. Because they're just gonna take the money off of, to them, it's a big pile of money that we were awarded and we just need to spend it down. So does that make sense?
yeah. We have committed
Okay.
some of 2021 though, right?
We have committed some of 2021's funds, but let's say you give me something to close out that was committed on 2021 sheet,
Mhm,
and it's $5,000. This is,
mhm.
making this up. Since we have not spent down $46,000 of 2020, it moves up.
Okay,
So it's not going to be taken from 2021. It's going to be taken from that 2020 because USDA, they don't care about 2021 funds. They just know they awarded us this money from these 2 different grant years. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't care about, that's an internal thing. They only care that 133,000, which is under new grant rules, will follow those new grant rules, if that makes sense.
So a couple
But
of
it's not gonna
questions.
carry over for 2 years. I'm sorry.
A couple of questions. Is this a housing grant?
Housing preservation grant from
Yes, okay.
USDA. It's a rural grant
Okay,
that we get from USDA.
what are the reasons why it's not being spent quickly?
It's committed. There are projects in the bin to be worked on, but I'm pretty sure it's due to capacity and overload and pandemic reasons.
well, and I think,
Why,
yeah, previous years not spending it down fully and we're utilizing it more effectively now. So I know Margaret and I have been trying to eat up as much as we can, and AHIP as well. So we're kind of playing catch up with previous years, but we are spending it more rapidly now. And we do have a lot in the hopper right now. So there's, expect, a fair amount to be coming through. But we'll be doing our best certainly to get as much of that so they can gear next year's expectation. We are depending on those same funds next year. So yeah, I know you are too, Margaret.
Yeah, bad on me because I have probably like 3 projects that I just haven't that I asked for money for, and I haven't asked for funding, and I haven't asked to be reimbursed. I paid out like months ago and I just haven't.
I'm in the
wrapped it
same
up
boat.
yet.
Yep.
Yeah, because I'm honest to God, I'm just trying to.
Yeah, I just handed one in to Sharice today. I got another on my desk that I need to finish. And I think I have 2 more that we just need to get pictures of the outside of the house.
Right,
And
exactly.
Same. When it's just you doing it,
Yeah. Oh my
it's
God.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
I
paperwork.
I probably have at least $15.
Wow.
Maybe 20 that I haven't asked for, so if I can, maybe I can get it done by the end of next week. I mean, we have till September, right? So
Right. Yeah, but I've got like 5 in DHR right now, Sharice, that I'm
Mhm.
waiting
Yeah.
to hear back from DHR so that I could submit the paperwork to you. Now we did, and so Sharice and I had a conversation because I had one that, the lady makes no money and we're using half HPG funds and half home funds to replace her roof. We have, when there's been a real critical need, Sharice has allowed us to proceed with the work on the HPG, but prior to receiving our DHR letter. But we cannot do that with home funds. So I thought that was, that was sort of, a learning point for me. That, we can't go ahead and utilize those funds and start the work on home. But I do have several that could be, I can start the work. We just are waiting on the DHR letter. If you want me to go ahead and submit those, Sharice.
I mean, you can submit it, but like I said, with the DHR letter, like it's the confirmation that historic resources, the Department of Historic Resources is giving us the clear that the for sure no historic resources will be disturbed. So
Yeah, and I don't mind
we can't
taking,
start it and then they like,
yeah, I
sorry?
don't want to make it a habit, but if we need to get them filed, I can do that. And I don't mind taking responsibility for.
It can save the spot. It can commit.
Okay,
Definitely, we can I can add it, not for home, but
Right.
for HPG, I can add it to the list as a commitment. But before the work is even started, we still kind of need that,
okay,
that backup.
right,
But the problem isn't so much the commitment. I just want to be clear. We can commit until we're blue in the face. If the money isn't spent down, those commitments mean nothing.
right.
If it's not spent down by that September, I say September 15th because you have to give me time to ask for the reimbursement, which is September
Right.
30th.
Well, I think I speak for Margaret too. This has become a critical part of our repair program.
Mhm.
So we want to spend down the funds as well as we can.
And I also want to make it clear too, just because I know that the city doesn't work with the HPG funds. In the past, before this year, the grant was 2 years. So the subrecipients had 2 years to spend down the funding.
Yeah.
This current year, they changed it to 1 year. So that's also impacting how quickly the funds are spent. Is that it's not 2 years anymore, it's 1.
Yeah.
So
And we were working
have
on a
to-
lot of rollover from previous years.
Exactly. So we have to, readjust and, get that in our head that we don't have that extra year anymore to spend down the funding. So, but, every now and again, I'll send out the reminders. I just want to keep it on your minds that, this is how much we have. So far, the calculation with both of the years, what we have to spend before September 15th. And this is before I have not calculated what you sent me in. It's about 180,000. We need to.
That's
Try to-
18 projects each, Kim.
And
Sorry.
I've been working
Yeah.
also with Green to try to get Green to, because Green is also part of this as well. Well, we want the
Keep it
money
on the
spent
down
down.
Yeah.
low.
No, we have found a good way to utilize this well. We're just, we've spent down the previous year's funds. We're working on this stuff as fast as we can. I've got a new person starting next week, like I said, who's going to be dedicated to doing these projects in Louisa County. And I have somebody else in Fluvanna. So, but I feel confident if we don't hit it, we're going to come darn close.
Yeah.
We're
well,
really
I'm
ramping
gonna
up.
hire somebody. I'm gonna put the job description up this week to get, hiring done. I've got somebody having to help me next week with the voucher program, and so
Oh, good.
I'm right behind Kim.
Yeah. And you
Okay.
could have
Killing
somebody
it.
do repairs as a full-time job.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a project manager job, and I've got my houses, I got this building, I got,
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff to do, so we'll be spending money. We'll be burning through it. Burning.
That's what I want to hear. That's what I want.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we're
Awesome.
basically, we're losing houses here, out here in the country than we're building, you know, from just being decrepit, like laid, maintenance, and, you know, older people can't do it themselves anymore, or they did it for a while and they jacked it up and now to fix it, you know, so they can stay there. So it's just really a poor situation. So,
Yep.
Kim and I are killing it.
Yeah, and I
Well,
just ran
Kim's
numbers.
killing it, I'm trying to.
Well, we're both getting there. I just ran numbers yesterday for the average age of our HPG, or our average age of our repair recipients, and a significant number of those are HPG, and it's 71 years old is our average
Yeah.
age.
Mhm.
So a lot of older people, like you're saying, whose houses are just falling apart, and we're just trying to put them back together again.
Yeah, or just do the minimum to keep them there till they,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
Yep.
And sometimes it's so bad, you just can't even touch it. I got 2 houses like that right now.
We've got, yeah, so many where they call for a new roof, and you're like, oof, I can't put a
Yeah.
roof on that. It'll fall
Can't put
over.
a roof because it's actually the whole floor is falling out. you
Right.
know, The house is gonna drop into its own basement.
Yeah, we could do an HPG just on flooring and
Right.
go crazy.
Or foundation repairs, you know,
Yes.
because it's always about $5,000 to fix someone's foundation, you know, jack a floor so it's not crashing in, so.
Yep.
Well, like I said, send them in when you guys can, you know.
We will, Sharice. We're on fire.
Yep, we are
Thank you.
hot.
Thank you. Thank you. And welcome, Sam. So moving on, we are at new business roundtable. I'm just going to quickly, new business for TJPDC is about the meetings. I'm going to start placing these recordings on the TJPD website so we don't have to wonder where they are. I always have a tough time with the uploading and finding a place for them to go. And then I don't know why it didn't dawn on me a long time ago, you know, put them on the actual TJPD website. So after this meeting, there's going to be 5 going all the way back to October that if you want to go back and look at all of the meetings, they will be on the TJPD website for the Housing Consortium. We also need to start thinking about the 5-year consolidated plan. That's next year, we're going to have to do that. So the action table next year, not action table, but the action plan next year will be the 5-year consolidated action plan with that annual action table rolled up in there. It's a bigger process. Billy started it a year ahead of time. Billy in the city, I forgot who was working at the city at the time. They did it last in 2018. But you'll see that coming out around September, like us asking more questions a lot earlier. So it's busy season because after action plan, it's going to be, you know, the caper, and then we're going to roll right into the 5-year comp. I can never say it, but the 5-year comp plan. You guys know what I'm trying to say. Sorry. So that's my new business. And so I'm just going to go around as I see you guys to ask if there's any more new business. And I'm going to skip you unless you really do have any more new business. I think you told us earlier what's going on next week. So I'm just going to go right to Kim.
We've been working with the counties, well, Louisa primarily first, but I think Fluvanna is going to be in the same boat on the home ARP funds and how we can utilize those. We're talking about elderly housing, and I just want to make sure that's going to fit in. We might just need to take it offline, but I figured there could be people here who benefit from that. 1-bedroom individual homes that are on one parcel of land. We're looking for something that maybe has water and sewer tied in, but if not, you know, to lower our costs, if not, having some sort of community septic and well, but maybe about 6 units to start, and then adding on, hopefully finding a large enough piece of land where we can add up to 20 units maybe. and have a little elderly neighborhood. But we really see that as being our homeless population. We have people who are squatting in homes who really have no other option. They're technically not homeless in that they're in a building, but they're not probably supposed to be there, or their house is falling down around them. So we think those will all qualify. So the counties did come back and ask me what kind of a time, that's why I was asking about the time frame.
Mhm.
When can we start spending the money on this, and when do we have to have it wrapped up by? So I thought it
Well,
was 2
you
years.
definitely, you have to have it wrapped up by September, was it September 30th, it's not in front of me.
I thought
I
it was
think it
2
was
years.
For the ARP funding, no, it's a 20, it's not in front of me. It's either 2029 or 2030, and I'll look. that
Oh,
up.
we've got plenty of time. Okay.
At
The counties were all
2029.
worried, and I thought we're gonna
Thank
put these
you,
stuff-
Aaron. I was gonna say, Aaron,
Okay, great. Thanks,
2029,
Aaron.
yes.
Great. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'll get back to them on that because they were worried about it being fast enough, which I think we're gonna spend it down faster anyway. But I just wanted to let them know what the time frame is. And when can we start spending, or can we spend money and be reimbursed for it?
No, don't do that.
Okay. Well, if we get, the thing is, we're thinking, we're gonna try to get land donated, but we didn't know, there's going to be some aspect that will be the housing foundation's portion of it. So we can build on land that is donated to us or that we purchase, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So yeah, we're trying to get that stuff underway. We've been buried with just requests, and we're down a person. So we have somebody starting next week, like I said. So
You've been buried with requests about home art, or
no, well, houses, of
Because
course,
I was-
but
yeah.
repairs, just
okay,
it's time consuming to get repairs situated, with contractors, with our people, getting all their information in and submitting it and getting out to their households. So I have somebody starting next week who should be taking care of a lot of that, and that will allow me to do my job. So I'm pretty excited about that. But otherwise, I don't think there's really anything new for us to report.
all right. So next on my screen, I have Margaret. Things jumped around, sorry.
I don't really have anything to report. I've been down to just me doing regular work here, and so it's just really a bare minimum getting done. So I've been kind of like in a holding pattern on projects, just trying as much of what's in the works continuing in the work. I'm trying to, and actually, I need to wrap it up for this year, and I'm thinking I can't accept any new ones, this year, but we'll see. I can, anyway, we're trying to hire somebody. I'm trying to hire somebody to do that, and I've got somebody coming in next week too, or in the week after that, to help me with housing stuff, so at least I'll have some help. We are, progressing with Renaissance Ridge, trying to, get all of the end pieces wrapped up with the partnerships and that sort of thing. So hopefully we'll be breaking ground later this spring, having a marketing plan, working with PHA to qualify people for, to be able to buy those homes, and, and getting that project really off the ground after, I think it's close to 3 years of planning and grant writing and all of that stuff. So yeah, I think it's going to happen. So that's what we've been doing.
All right.
Packing up boxes for Virginia Housing is another big deal. So I don't know if anybody else is doing that, but good Lord, I reckon that's a job.
That's been terrible. And did you get your boxes picked up?
No, because we're not done. We're just on the
Oh.
ends right now. So
They
we'll be
changed the
done.
schedule up on us, and they haven't told us when they're picking them up now.
Oh, so you're done packing them. Did you keep
Yes.
any repeats? Like, did you keep any information for yourself? How did you do that?
No. And we have like 20 boxes. Because
Oh.
we've got 2 counties. Yeah, no, we did
Yeah,
not.
well, we have like 3 solid counties and then a little few.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so while we're on, we might have 20 boxes when we're done.
It's been horrible. It's really, I mean, I
It
haven't
has-
really been doing that, but it's been a horrendous process.
I've done some of it, but I haven't done as much as my dear friends have been doing. So it's just been a nightmare. My working staff
Yeah.
is what they say.
We feel for you.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's me.
Thank you. And I apologize. I did lose. I don't know if you guys noticed. I was kicked out for a second. I'm gonna have to come back in, but luckily everybody is still here. So the next on my screen, I have a ton of people from the city. So if any and everybody wants to give us an update on what's going on, please feel free.
So the city, for my end, we have a CDBG task force meeting on March 21st to talk about 2022 CDBG projects. Home has already been decided for next year, but that is it on my end.
And Aaron, is this what you've invited me to? Just want to make sure.
Yes,
Or-
I'll make sure you get an invite as well.
Okay, okay. Thank you. And Alex, anything you'd like to share?
Well, a major, something big that going on right now at the city is the budget. 2023 budget, both the operating budget and CIP, capital improvement plan budget. And there will be a meeting tomorrow on the budget. The city council will be discussing non-profit, organizations tomorrow in the budget. So there will be a lot of non-profit organizations tuning in tomorrow during the budget discussion, because tomorrow will be focused on non-profit organizations. 6 p.m. is going to be virtual. Council is expected to vote on that budget April 12th, and then of course the budget becomes effective July 1st of this year. The other aspect of activities in the city is our comprehensive plan. As some of you may know, City Council approved that plan last year, including the affordable housing plan. And right now, the city is working on the zoning ordinance rewrite. Wholesale rewrite of the zoning ordinance is now underway. And when it's done, it's gonna provide procedures and parameters for implementation of the comprehensive plan. We are real excited about that. And we're also looking at providing within that comprehensive plan incentives and ways of elimination of barriers to affordable housing. So there are a lot of interest in this zoning rewrite, and we are looking to complete that within 12 or 14 months. So it will be until sometime spring next year before we are completing that. So if you live in the city, stay tuned. If you don't, stay tuned as well. Because what happens here in the city of Charlottesville affects the region pretty much. So that's the couple of updates from my end.
Thank you, Alex. And Mr. Sanders, you have any updates you want to share with us?
Only that I'm still learning how and why we do things the way that we do. And I will continue to do that. Good to see everybody.
Thank you. And Kathleen.
Hello. Lots going on here. Our fiscal year ends in March, so we're tying up a lot of things. We are recovering from some of our sticker shock from our pre-con for 2 of our redevelopment projects. So we're rolling up our sleeves to do a lot of value engineering, which will probably be going on for a bit. Like many places, we're also finding a lot of challenges with filling positions and getting applicants. We're hoping that will change soon. But those are some of our big updates. Good to see everyone.
Kathleen, can I ask you, what do you
Thank
mean
you.
by value engineering and have you found anything?
As far as value engineering, just looking at the project and how we can make some changes, possibly modifications to things like landscaping or the way we might do relocation to carve out some savings.
Have you found any like alternative construction materials that are more cost effective?
Not yet. It's definitely one of the things that's on our list that we're pursuing. We're also, of course, constantly looking, and I know Alex has also helped us look too for some green energy grants, because if there's any ways we can fill some of the gaps. But I know for one of our sites, we're looking at, instead of phased relocation, whole site relocation, which will be a considerable savings, but lots of tough decisions, but we also don't want to compromise the quality.
Well, if you find anything, please do share.
Definitely.
Thanks.
Thank you. And Kristen.
Yeah, so like Ian said, we are trying to staff that housing hub. We have a series of interviews scheduled for this week. And we hope to be able to make a decision about those 2 positions within the next week or 2. And then we also have our housing navigator on board as well. So he started, I don't know, maybe like 2 weeks ago or something like that. So he's hit the ground running and has already started helping some folks trying to find some housing options. And then for PHA, I don't remember if we actually made like a large announcement, but we did hire someone for the CLT position. So we have Shekinah Mitchell in that position now. And that is awesome because we have 5 homes that should be coming online in Spring Hill. I think around like May or June of this year, we have 5 homes in the Prospect neighborhood or on Prospect Street that'll be coming online in July or August of this year. And then we have 1 home in Nassau that is a resale through the CLT that is available right now. So having her on board to help with that is amazing. And then, you know, we're continuing to do Friendship Court and Southwood things and all that stuff that I can't really talk about and Andy could.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Andy's not with us today though, so. But that sounds great. I think I got everybody. So the next meeting.
You are frozen.
I apologize, guys. I'm having a bad connection and I've been kicked out of this meeting so many times. My apologies. I was just saying that our next meeting will be Wednesday, April 20th at 1 p.m. I like to try to devote the rest of our meeting to people who have questions about the action plan. I know that Kim had some questions and that I have some questions for Margaret. So if that's okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, when you are done, before I leave, I just want to bring something up. I know Erin already did, but I just want to some kind of reinforce that when you are done.
Oh, I'm sorry. When we're done with this, or you can do it now?
Yeah, when you finish with what you're saying, I just want to reinforce something. You know?
Oh, okay. I was basically done. I was just saying we're gonna try to answer some questions.
Yeah, I understand you guys will be doing analysis of impediments to fair housing.
Mhm.
Okay, I don't know whether, there is a new one, which was from the Obama administration, and then Trump tried to roll it back. So I'm not sure which one we are doing, whether it's affirmatively furthering fair housing or analysis of impediment to fair housing. But whichever one we are doing, I just wanna, I know Erin has talked to you about it, but for the city is really hugely focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion,
Mhm.
and we have a big interest in that, whether it's analysis of impediments to fair housing or affirmatively furthering fair housing. So when you guys put the RFP together, would like to take a look at the RFP before you guys issue it. And secondly, I will advise, that given the current focus of the city and the county, Albemarle County, and perhaps other outlying counties, that diversity, equity, and inclusion is certainly on a whole lot of people's mind. I know the city council, probably board of supervisors, so we need to start early, so that we'll be able to get a good product at the end of the day when you get the consultant in place to do the study. So I just want to put that out there. It's not going to be a couple of months or 3 months kind of study. It's going to take some time. So if it's going to be done, I suggest you guys start early.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I looked, because we're talking about the 5-year consolidated plan. And when Erin, she did email me about it earlier. I looked to see when we started last year, and it was like a year early. So definitely, thanks for that heads up.
Yeah, the fair housing, the analysis of impediment to fair housing is a separate document, right? But it goes with the consolidated plan, so that's the one I'm talking about, because it's really important given the housing situation in Charlottesville. I'm not sure how the outlying counties feel about that, but for the city and probably Albemarle County, it's a pretty serious issue right now. So I just want to reinforce that.
Thank you. No, that's very important. I'm glad you brought it up because I agree. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Erin, I know that we had planned to talk after this meeting. This may run longer. Can we actually set up an actual meeting to discuss Hallmark with Christine in it and Sam and Alex? If you guys want to be included, I will send that out if that's okay. First of all, my internet keeps going in and out. I don't know how productive it's going to be. But if that's okay, would you guys mind if I do that and rope in Christine soon?
Yeah, that works.
Like, probably beginning of next week.
Okay.
If that works. Yeah. Okay. Because we're gonna need her because just to give you a quick update, like I said before, we had planned on getting a consultant to do the gap analysis. I know that Christine and Ian and I have talked in-house about having that ready and done by October, I believe. And Ian, correct me if I'm remembering this wrong. So the next process was to put together the process from then to there on the RFP process. But if you guys are having questions so we all can get on the same page, I am suggesting that we all meet up so we can all do that because it's brand new and we're all still working our way through it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and they're pretty
Okay,
basic.
so I can put that on the books.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
sorry.
it's,
keep
I
putting
think it's,
some in.
sorry, I think it's pretty basic questions though, like when can we start expending funds? Is that October 1st?
Right, and that makes sense because you guys need to plan for it too, so.
Mhm.
I just don't want to be saying things out of turn that don't line up with what Christine is thinking on our end. So, so I will reach out soon, very, very, very soon. And next week sometime, I'll reach out when you guys are available next week sometime. We'll meet.
Sounds good.
Great.
Okay. And so for those who have questions or want to stick around, I don't mind, about the action plan. This is what the rest of this meeting, we might go over if you have time to go over. This usually ends at 2, it's 1:50 already. Please, stick around. For those who have questions that have to leave at 2, can we start with your questions? Thanks, Ian. Okay. So everybody can stick around, so that's good. So Kim, you had reached out to me, you had questions.
Yeah, and now I can't find, I had to move into my kitchen because my husband's upstairs on a conference call too. So now I can't find my piece of paper. But basically this one's due on the 31st, correct? Of this month?
No, what Aaron and I need is, it was actually due for us a couple days ago, because we have to put it together and then have to do the draft.
Okay.
Have that draft out there for the public comment period.
Okay.
So the
I apologize.
action plan table, what we're looking for is how you plan to use the home funding to meet those goals and within the action plan. And I sent you what you did last year, how
Yeah.
you plan to use the funding.
Oh no, she cut out again.
It's basically, so you have your funds. It's your goals for next year, how you're planning on using your home funds for next year.
Okay. All right. And that's starting October 1st, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's not a problem because it really hasn't shifted much.
No, it usually doesn't change that drastically.
And especially with the pandemic and, cost of construction materials and land prices, we've been struggling a bit to kind of get some things going. So we're shifting back a little bit, and we ended up ramping up more of our repair program and using some home funds for that instead and doing more rehabs. So I just need to fold that in.
Okay.
Okay. I think it's pretty much covered, and I'll be able to get that back to you. I'm sorry, I didn't know it was already out for public
worries.
comment. Okay, I'll get it back over to you guys though right away.
Sounds
It's
good.
not out for public comment yet, right?
The
It's-
21st.
Yeah,
They're putting it together.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know what, I have to leave it too, and I know that Sharice has questions for me. So can we just connect after, I have a call at 2 till 3, so can we connect after? I'll call her.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions related to the action plan? I might be able to.
I don't have any questions. I think this is my 3rd one. It doesn't mean that I was good at what I did before, making a
Mhm.
plan and actually executing that plan, but I know what I'm supposed to do.
I am so sorry, guys.
There you go.
It's all right.
That's okay. Erin picked right up where you left off. And
She
just
did.
kept
Thank you,
rolling.
Aaron.
Like a mom.
I got you.
This is horrible. Thank you.
Teresa, I was just saying I'm gonna go with you this afternoon because I got a split for a 2 o'clock meeting, and so.
Okay.
You got questions for me, and so I'll
Okay.
set you up this other meeting.
I will email you the questions I have. There's
Okay.
2
All right.
questions that I have. And
All right, and the other thing I want to throw on your plate too, Chodo loan.
okay, and I can thank you. Remind me.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
great. All right, talk to you ladies later. Thank you.
Okay.
Alright.
Take care, Margaret.
Bye.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys.
No, that's fine. Aaron totally picked up. So I've got my questions answered, and I'll be able to shoot that over to you guys so you can, you'll have our counties. Sorry about that. Yeah, the only other question I had really that I need to know more, sooner was on home ARP, when we can start utilizing funds for that. So if you don't mind
Okay,
checking with Christine.
definitely, we'll definitely be in touch on that. I can already tell you, it won't be until we get that gap analysis. Because we
Okay.
don't technically have those funds yet.
Okay, all right, and when are those funds supposed to be released? Is it a guarantee that we're getting it?
Yeah, it's a guarantee that we're getting it. We need to do our end on our part and
Okay, poor Sharice.
update the amended action plan. Oh, God. I'm gonna speak fast. We need to do what we need to do on our
I know.
part and amend the action plan. Part of that's getting that gap analysis. I would have went into work if I knew I was gonna have this issue.
No, that's okay.
I totally apologize for this, guys.
I've got Louisa
Thoughts and
County.
starts.
I've got Louisa County like full bore on this. Like I've got them
Mhm.
just chomping at the bit now, because we've really
Mhm.
been ready. So these funds are putting us in just a great position to do this, and they're now understanding the urgency of the need. And I've got major backing of the supervisors and the county administrator and finance manager, everybody I need. So they're looking to me as the point person on this, and I want to make sure I'm giving them the right information, and we're ready to kind of get going. This, whenever the funds are released, and maybe sooner. Like I was saying, we could probably purchase. One thing they asked me, not Eric Dahl, Christian Goodwin asked, is this going to cover everything for this project that we're discussing? And I said, no, part of it will be Housing Foundation funds. And I'm assuming we can, I think we've already talked about this, we can utilize regular home funds in combination with home
Yeah.
ARP funds. So that really gives us a lot more capacity. So they're excited.
Good.
Yeah, and I
Good.
want
That's
to
what we need.
utilize that energy. Fluvanna is always a little harder to get rolling, but I'm trying to make them jealous of Louisa.
Hopefully it'll work
Yeah.
to get them just super excited.
Yeah, I live in
And
Fluvanna.
before,
You'd think that'd be easier
What?
for me, and it's not.
before we go though, I do have an action plan question for you, Kim.
Okay.
You are, Fluvanna is the recipient of the 15% Chodo. Let me know what that project is so I can write
Okay.
it into the action plan. I need to know that.
Okay, because that's also money that we could combine with the home ARP funds, right?
Yeah, you can combine home, as long as it falls under the guidelines. Just remember that home ARP is the qualifying populations. It's so if it benefits those qualifying populations, yes, but then you also, if you're going to combine them, you have to take both into account. Home ARP is the income part of it, and investment partnership is the income below 80%, and home ARP is the qualifying population. And I'm frozen again. I sure hope you all.
No, you're not. You're not frozen.
Okay, because you guys are frozen on me.
Oh, sorry.
So, oh no, it's not your fault. It clearly is not your fault. So just remember that if you're thinking of combining the funds, homeless, at risk of becoming homeless, veteran populations or living, this is home ARP I'm talking about, or household with a veteran within the population, domestic violence, trafficking, human trafficking, that sort of situation, and social service type abilities. So just remember that if you're thinking of combining the funds, you have two different qualifications that you're trying to qualify for.
So we're targeting is probably going to be below 30% AMI. So it'll certainly be covered. Elderly population at risk of homelessness due to the state of their homes, or they don't own the property they're living in and they're squatting, that kind of thing. So I think that'll be covered by both of those programs.
Okay.
Okay, and I have a weird question, and this probably needs to be saved. But for people who own property, and this is really a rural phenomenon, they own property, but they have a house falling down around them. If we move them into one of these new units, could they sort of make payment with their lands and donate the land back, and then we put that back in a program, build a house on it for affordable housing, under 80% AMI?
I need to look into that. That's new to me. I don't want to make a.
I told you it was a
jump
weird question, but we're trying to find sort of unique.
call. Yeah, let
situation.
me, before I do my initial, I don't think so. Let me be truthful and look into that and get back to you.
All right, yeah, we're thinking out of the box because that's certainly a scenario that we find out in the countryside. People have land and they have utilities there and the house is no longer inhabitable. That's all I got.
Yeah, just let me do some quick digging before I make a flash statement and possibly be wrong.
Okay, I appreciate it.
So.
Thank you, guys. Oh, geez, Sharice is frozen again. I know this is driving her crazy. All right, I'm gonna go work on my action plan and get it to you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Erin. Take
No
care,
problem.
Sharice. Bye, Sam.
Bye, everyone.
Okay. I'm. Anything else, you guys?
No, I was just
Anything
saying
else?
goodbye. I was gonna go work on my
This is
action
the
table.
Worst. Thank you, Kim. Yes. So
No
please
problem.
get that to us. I'm gonna talk fast. This recording will be up there. Will be up there in pieces on our TJPD website. Aaron, I'm gonna contact Christine now today so we can get that meeting going.
Yes.
I totally understand. I just don't want to make sure. I want to make sure I'm not lying about what her timeline is, but I also want to put the urgency that people are rolling with this and we need to act. It's just been really busy here at TJP, lots of rollover as it is everywhere. And some of us have been doing triple duty on things. So
Poor thing. All right, we'll just relieve her and we'll get out of the meeting.
Yeah,
All right, take care.
you too.
Bye.
Bye.